Thank you. You don't have to vote. All right, sir. Well, we good. Okay, let's call this meeting to order, if we could, please. First order of business would be the minutes from the February 7th meeting. This is mailed to the magistrates. Any corrections or changes?
None noted. Motion to approve is presented.
Motion to approve by Sam Hutchins. There's a second to the motion. Second by Jerry Hahn. Any further discussion? All approved, say aye.
Aye.
Disapprove? Motion will carry. Next will be your bills list and your additional bills list. I think I explained to you guys the $15,000 bill there on the HCC public risk claim.
Yes, you did.
And that's over with. I did not see anything that stuck out, Rhonda. Did you see anything that might cause heartburn?
The pump stations, you got them fixed up there now?
Yep, it's fixed and working.
But kids, that drug task force room,
There's a room upstairs.
It wasn't no labor included in that, right?
No, Mark's doing a lot of the work in-house, but we did.
I'm talking about wiring it.
What, Sheriff here? I can't remember. I think we're doing most of that in-house ourselves. Mark, yeah, Keith. But he had to extend a couple of ventilation
I
pipes.
could be wrong, but my understanding was, didn't Alan Atcher wire that for nothing? Foggy?
We were going to do some of the work, but Alan was going to be the supervisor over it, yeah.
Okay, okay.
But it was just a few, it wasn't anything.
Right, right.
make a motion, pay the bills as presented.
Thank you, Bernard. Is there a second to the motion?
Second.
Second by Jerry. Now, is there any further discussion? All approved, say aye.
Aye.
Disapprove? Motion will carry. Today we have with us State Highway Department from District 4 with us today, Paul Sanders with District Engineer. And we have Chad Filiatru and Jude Filiatru and anybody else? Josh Hornback.
Josh.
Yeah, I forgot to jot your name down. I know people's faces a lot of times, but I got it right this time. I see you on a regular basis. You go present the state rural secondary program to us.
Sure. Thank you. Allow me for presenting this to you. This year, of course, I'll go back over some stuff that we constantly do every year, explaining how the rural secondary program is funded, but it's funded by 22.2% of the motor fuel tax receipts. These funds are allocated to all 120 counties based on a 5-point formula. That formula would be 1/5 equal among all counties, 1/5 based on rural population, 1/5 based on rural road miles, and 2/5 based on lane area. Of course, once the money is allocated, it's not transferable to another county. So for this year's program, if you look at that handout, of course, you got number 1 there, which is the routine maintenance and traffic for the county. That's $589,000 for the year. The second thing would be the county judge executive expenses, which is set by statute at $38.62. And of course, our first route that we're looking at is Kentucky 1858. That runs from US 62 to Kentucky 55. It's a total distance of 4.252 miles, and it costs to $273,700. Our next one is Kentucky 332. That runs from Kentucky 245 to Sterling Court, a distance of 0.82 miles. It costs us $63,900. Our next one would be Kentucky 1066 from US 62 to Kentucky 458. Total distance on that route would be 1.678 miles. It costs to $107,000. Number 6 would be Kentucky 458, runs from Kentucky 1066 to Spencer County line. Total distance on that one would be 2.901 miles at a cost of $195,000. So for the total year, total cost would be $1,232,462, which is just a shy under what we had available for this year's rural secondary program.
Chad, correct me if I'm wrong on that 332. That's the balance of what was left from last year.
Continuation.
Ran a little short of money last year and had to stop it somewhere. Jeff, in your district. 1066 is one of the most talked about that needed it, so I think that was a good, real good choice by the Transportation Cabinet. We do, guys, allow me to submit the Rural Secondary Flex Fund Program, if I could submit that to the engineer. Sure. It's Holt Ridge, King Road, Pottery Shop Road, and Duke Valleys. Estimated cost about $195. Okay. And of course, your measurements maybe, I don't know if they're going to let you guys do the, if we do it, letting you guys do the letting, or we're going to do the letting.
I think you already do.
We'd rather do it because we can do it within our specs a little bit different and probably get a little more bang for our money. No disrespect intended by that.
No.
You got a little more bureaucracy to deal with than we do.
Couple other things, we have another pot of money, of course, for resurfacing. It's our FD05 program. Nelson County has a couple roads that come up on that program also. US 62, just before Broadway to the Nelson Anderson County line. It's about 4.4 miles.
That's up in the Chaplin area.
Yeah. Another one is US 31E from the Lou Nelson County Nelson County line to just before Ray Wimsett Boulevard. And then we also have Kentucky 52. That's from Kentucky 247 to about the Nelson Marion County line, another about 4.606 miles. And we got another section of Kentucky 55 from the Nelson Washington line to US 62, about 3.0841 miles long. Then the next thing we got is Kentucky 1430 that runs from US 31 to Kentucky 245. And that's all dependent upon how much come in and everything as far as how much the funding will allow.
We're kind of getting used to that
Exactly.
scenario.
Exactly. So that's all I
Good
got.
choices. Good. I think they're all well-deserved choices.
Have you got a copy?
No, I do not have a copy of that.
Chad can get you
Yeah.
one. So, you know, but again, like I said.
It's
this-
subject to the funding.
Yes,
And I
yes,
think,
yes. If
I think
bids
last
come-
year the funding kind of fell a little short.
We did, we actually got an extra few jobs done at the end of the year. They
Do
actually
you know when that
priced us-
those lettings would be?
These will just be out through the year. Typically in the past, they've kind of done them all on the front end, but due to the budget and the cash flow, they've kind of let them as, progressed them out through the year as they come. So, I just ask on the fiscal court if you all are in agreement with that little secondary, if you all would just.
How do you determine which roads?
Was that rural secondary? Right,
Yeah.
right, big, right quality, looks like pothole cracking, cracks.
Do you grade each of the roads?
I mean, not necessarily probably an official grade,
Yeah.
but more official. We
Kinda like our
try
system.
to write them
Just like ours.
every year, you know.
I know
Complaints too.
Yeah.
the rural secondary, I know with like your flex funds, you know, we have to go out and evaluate them on a scale of 1 to 10, assign a number to it, and then of course we submit that to Frankfurt. Frankfurt decides which ones they.
You know, apologies, since you're kind of new into our fiscal court meetings, and I explained this to previous politicians up in Frankfurt. Our standards are much different than, say, a standard would be in eastern Kentucky. You know, our roads may look fine to somebody who's been used to a gravel road or a pothole road, but when you have alligator cracking, it's still, even though does that make sense to you?
Mm-hmm.
So our standards may be a little bit different, so when you do ride the county roads that we have submitted, we expect our standards a little bit better than maybe some of the other rural roads or rural counties. And I think that's important because our folks, there's not too many roads that we're in have potholes. If we have a pothole, we better be out there pretty fast.
Exactly.
But entertain a motion to approve the list and the flex funds that we have submitted. If I get a motion.
I'll make a motion.
Motion by Sam Hutchins. Is there a second? Second by Keith Metcalf. Any further discussion? All approved, say aye.
Aye.
Disapprove? Motion will carry. Thank you all so
Thank
much.
you.
Thank you for
Question
everything you
on
do.
55 over
Right.
that creek running through there, is there any plans to channel line or gaving basket that along through there? Because there's a place or two, it's right on the bottom.
Yeah, it's probably be saying just kind of something we watch the maintenance issue and manage them as they come about.
I know there for a while they used a lot of shot rock and concrete and dispute it. It seems like it's picked it up and taken it down through there too.
We fixed it probably been 5-6 years ago now.
About 5, yeah.
We're working on those spots you're talking about within the last year or two.
There's one or two of them over, I was over Sunday, and it's flushed up right next to the blacktop again. I didn't know if maybe it gave you the basket. I've seen it like on, what's the road from High Grove to Fairfield, where they went in there and put Gabion baskets along. Seems like that's held up really well. But this one, that'd be a long project down through there.
Yeah, and they're expensive, they're expensive, and labor.
And Paul, while I've got you here, and I've talked to you about this by internet once before, we have a guardrail project on 31E New Haven Road called Helsinki Hill. We've done the section going down the hill coming from Bardstown, but coming from back to New Haven, there's a little shorter section.
Right.
And it's, I think you said it was #1 priority within the district, or in the top tier.
Right.
Is there any allocation at all so far for
As
any?
far, I haven't seen nothing so far this year with guardrail. Like I told you, it's in there, and if the money, as it comes available and they let it, it'll.
Yeah. So we should contact our elected officials in Frankfurt to petition,
It's just a budgetary thing.
I'm talking about-
Maintenance.
squeeze them a little bit. I can say that, you can't.
You go right ahead.
Thank you, Paul,
They
for
did ask for the estimate.
Yeah.
We have said, Jude has worked the estimate up on that. so
Yeah.
I submitted the estimate, I assumed it was going.
I'll follow up with Senator Higgin and transportation folks.
One other thing, Judge, is that Little Road project, they've got about 115 working days left on that project. So it's gonna be September neighborhood before that job's complete.
Okay. And Brad and I are going, you guys are going to set up a meeting to identify and get a little more detail on a couple of those little turnarounds and stuff that appreciate your patience on that.
We're gonna actually go look at it.
Okay.
Here.
But we're willing to.
Drive around out there in the 4th district if y'all do.
It's been a little extra time out there. He's used to going on gravel roads, so you think our roads are interchanges. Grayson County, my buddy down, you have Grayson County in your district, don't you? And I think he still has 200 or 300 miles of gravel roads.
Well, Breckenridge County.
Breckenridge.
Quite a few.
Yeah, they got, yeah. So we're pretty lucky, guys. Thank y'all.
Thank you.
Next on the agenda, have today with us Thomas Hamilton, who has kind of been worked up and worked on the Rocket Docket program for the Assistant Commonwealth, as part of the Commonwealth Attorney's Office. Thomas?
Yeah. First of all, thanks for letting me come speak to you all. I am, like Dean said, trying to run the Rocket Docket program here in Nelson and Hart counties. You all gave us a grant in September, went into effect, and I do have a sort of a short report for you all to give an update on where we are right now. According to Carol Ray, who is the program director for the Rocket Docket program in Frankfurt, works for the Prosecutors Advisory Council, in Nelson County and Hart County combined, the program through the first 3 months has saved $59,400. They are getting that number by taking the number of cases that we've run through the Rocket Docket, and then the amount of time that those particular defendants have stayed in jail, and then the cost per day that it would have cost them to spend the normal amount of time in jail had they not gone through the Rocket Docket. And so right now the difference that they've come up with is $59,400. I don't have an allocation between Hart and Nelson. We may have that at the end of the year, but it's only 4 months into it, so they don't have anything in writing. It's just an email I got from Miss Ray, and I sent that to Dean. I can send it to the rest of you if you'd like it. But basically what the Rocket Docket program does, it puts low-level felony offenders who have a drug problem into treatment at an early stage in litigation, so they don't have to go through the entire process of being indicted, sitting in jail, waiting for their case to be adjudicated. If they want, they can go ahead and plead guilty, move their case on, and get into treatment. Truthfully, I don't know how accurate that $59,400, it seems a little bit high to me, but it's the number they gave me, so that's what we're going with. It sounds good.
But anything's a help, and no more than we allocated to the program. If it's just a matter of making that available, that will grow, I
Right.
think.
And I should say that 59,400 is just through December 31st. So it's not from, there's definitely going to be additional savings since then to today. But, and I would say probably Hart County gets a little bit more benefit than Nelson just because there's a little bit of their, I would say their
Trying to be politically
defense
correct.
attorneys are a little bit more
Trying to be
amenable to
politically
the program. They're more interested in getting people in than Nelson County, but I still think Nelson County has benefited greatly. We've done 20 cases here from beginning to end. We've closed out 20 cases here in Nelson County and have several more pending. So if that continues through the end of the year, that would be 80 cases, and that's approximately 20% of Nelson County's felony docket in 2016. In 2015, it would have been about 25%, but we're way up on felony cases, so it's a slightly less percentage.
How many days are they on average are they saving? This in jail days?
In Nelson County, it was around 27, I think. I couldn't swear to that. That's close to the number. That's an average. I don't know that that's the median versus the mean? I don't have that number, but that's the average for possession-related drug cases in Nelson County.
How many did you say it was?
I think 27.
27.
From date of arrest
Okay.
through.
So it's a month, basically a month.
And on the rocket docket, they're closer to, say, 7 to 10.
So out of that 59,000, you don't know how much of it's Nelson,
I
how much
don't.
of it's Hart?
I hope to
You
know
think
that at
it's
the end
half
of the
and
year.
half, or you don't even?
I would say it's a little bit more to Nelson County, just because there's so many more cases in Nelson. Percentage-wise, per defendant, Hart County's definitely coming out better.
27 days times $38 a day times ever how many folks?
State allocates $30 a day.
Yeah.
That's the
30 is the number they gave
30
us.
is the number they get, and that's typical probably.
You run 38.
Thank you, Thomas. Anybody got any questions?
Thank you, appreciate it.
Appreciate
Thanks
it.
for letting me come speak.
What's that cord behind you? I don't win lawsuits, Jimmy. He practices law a whole lot cheaper than most people.
Especially with first level.
Okay, thank you, Tom. We'll go on to the second reading of the budget amendment. Court's already approved on first reading and advertised for second reading. The budget amendment. Need a motion to approve on second reading and adoption. I can get that. Motion by Jerry Hahn, second by Jeff Lear. All approved, say aye. Disapprove? The motion will carry. Next would be surplus equipment and vehicles. You guys got a master list I sent out, looks like this, and John Greenwald added a pretty picture here of 3 other pieces of equipment. And Keith, you brought up this morning to me another piece.
Yeah, there's an air unit that we took off the jail that's sitting down at the road department. It's been sitting there for about a year. I can't see us using it anywhere. I'd like to go on and add it to the surplus.
Okay. Air handler, basically, unit, huh? Okay. You know where it is.
Where's the dump truck at?
Road department.
Was it in the shed? I didn't see that broke that stuff.
I don't know. It should be around, that's the red one. It's got a red cab on it. We've already used originally.
Yeah, Scotty's.
That's it, nowhere.
And then we replaced it with that.
It was a
new-
second hand we bought.
With the white truck we just bought.
Yeah.
It's time to let it go.
That new other truck looks like it's doing good.
The white one?
White one?
Correct. So
The
far.
GMC?
Yes.
Yeah. Need a motion to,
Judge, we
yes.
also have a jail car, jail cruiser sitting down for jail.
Jail Cruiser. Can you send me the VIN number on that door,
I sure
please?
can, it's been there for probably almost 2 years, it's wrecked.
Is it a Crown Vic?
I think so.
You okay with adding that to the list?
Yes.
Need a motion to declare this property surplus and advertise as surplus and receive either seal bids or an auction.
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Sam Hutchins, second by Bernard Ice. Any further discussion? All approved, say aye.
Aye.
Disapprove? The motion will carry. Thank you, fellas. I don't know how that accumulated. Short period of time. I haven't had an auction for a year though, have we?
Every year we do it, I
Yeah.
think we cleaned up.
Planning Commission recommendations, I put that on the agenda. I have not gone through it in detail yet, but be aware that there are some zoning regulation amendments that are being proposed. They're in your packet. Read those between now and the next court meeting. I plan to at least bring them. I have not digested them. I'm sitting on the committee, Bern and I sitting on the committee. Jeff, you did, I think, one of the meetings. And I want to digest them and make sure we're all going down the same path.
What's the purpose of this, Jim?
Which one?
The craft beer,
We established the craft distillery conditional use permit. 'Cause
from
we-
50,000 gallons to
50,
500?
well, there's two different types now. And the original conditional use permit was based on the state's craft, Class B distiller's license, because we really didn't have anything to go by. There's really no definition of a craft distillery. It's nationwide, it's kind of all over the place, and it's really based on what every community wants. So what the committee has done and the planning commission has made the recommendation on is now to divide it into two types of craft distilleries. B2, which is the central business districts for all the cities, would be type 1, which would still allow a craft distillery of 50,000 gallons or less, which is less than 1,000 barrels. Anything for B3, B4, B5, and LIP would allow type 2, and that would allow you to go up to 500,000 gallons. Now, keep in mind, all of these distilleries are not standalone distilleries. They would have to be associated with a restaurant, a bar, another type of tourist event facility, something like that. So it couldn't be a standalone distillery. They would still be limited to limited storage, on-site storage, basically 4 barrels on-site during a 24-hour period. Everything else has to be stored off-site. So this was to, we have a craft distillery that has come and applied for an I-2 zoning at the Hillbilly Heaven property. I-2, the planning commission found that that's not appropriate in that location based on neighborhood issues, and so the planning commission asked that the committee review and come up with a different definition for conditional use permit, and that would allow that property to remain as B3 retail business, but accommodate a craft distillery up to 500,000 gallons.
And bear in mind, I'm not going to use names, but some of our larger distilleries would do about 2 million gallons a year. Understand the difference between a smaller distillery, about 25% of what one of our larger distilleries would make. We would classify as a Bardstown Bourbon Company would not.
Luxco would.
I don't want to get into names, but.
Well, and I mean,
some
this
of
would be
the
the only one,
proprietary.
there would only be one at this point
Yeah.
that we would have applied for that condition.
But I just got these like Thursday or Friday, I think, and I just.
The other two are in the agricultural zoning only in the county, and that was to create a conditional use permit to have the bourbon warehouses, distilled spirit storage facilities on tracts between 50 and 100 acres. You'll remember we changed the rules to let them on a tract over 100 acres as a permitted use. This would require them to have a conditional use permit and go through a public hearing, which would give notification to the adjoining property owners and allow them to be on tracts between 50 and 100 acres in a small zone. And then the other change was to, we had on the event facilities in the ag zone, we had allowed them to do 300-person occupancy, but a maximum 2,500 square foot building. Well, that occupancy and the building size weren't matching, so we're increasing the building size to accommodate that 300 people. So 4,500 square foot building.
Cities already approved on their side, haven't they?
The city is not approved. That goes, I think, next week.
Okay.
So,
I do plan on guys bringing it to their next court meeting in an ordinance form for you guys. Okay, any questions? Thanks, Jan, for being here.
Thank you, Jane.
EMS report.
I report that the sheriff's office was completed training for their CPR, bloodborne pathogen, and naloxone training Friday. All the deputies are equipped with the naloxone or Narcan overdope kit. As a matter of fact, one of the deputies responded to a victim over the weekend and did administer the Narcan to the victim that he responded to. So we've always seen a positive from that training for the sheriff's office. That's all I think.
Okay. Jail report, Dorcas.
Okay, today we have a total of 149 inmates. We have 2 in Hardin County. We have 4 on home incarceration.
We have 44 state inmates. We have 5 serving weekends, so we got an in-house total of 138. For January, our daily average controlled intake, we had 602 man days, that was 19 a day. Class B is 546 man days, that's total average of 17 a day. Nelson County was 3,270 man days, so we averaged 102 out of Nelson County. So our total for daily average for January was 142 a day. New arrests and releases for January, the arrivals, males, we had 144, we had 72 females, that was a total of 216. Releases, we had 145 males, 69 females, that's a total of 214. Sentenced inmates out of district court, we have 4. We have also have 2 serving weekends. This is all out of district. We have 24 waiting for court. Of course, today is court day. We have 4 that's on home incarceration. We have 1 that's sentenced to jail, but he's doing work release. On our state inmates, we have 23 controlled intake, 18 Class Bs. We have 1 that's serving weekends out of circuit court, which makes he'll be a state. He is a state. We have 5 that's performing community service. Work release, we have 3. And then we have 2 that is sentenced to do jail time out of circuit court. We have 1 out of drug court. We have 67 out of circuit waiting for court. So we have a total of 91 that has not been sentenced. That's all I have.
Landfill solid waste report.
Bulky oil is supposed to start February 27th, next Monday, and that will begin basically everything east of 31E and 49. That'll be the Botland, Potter Shop, Greer Lane, towards Chaplin, including High Grove and Fairfield areas. Next, after it'll be each area 2 weeks, so then 2 weeks after that, it'll be basically everything south of Bluegrass Parkway and west of 49. That includes Highway 49, and everything through New Hope and Hyerstown. And then third, basically everything east of 31E and north of the Bluegrass Parkway. That includes Highway 62 and 245.
Same route as it was last year.
And during that time, the landfill will be opened up for bulky auto pickup. And we're going to go ahead and start that this week since we have nice weather. If anybody wants to go on and bring stuff out this week, you're more than welcome to. Second, Hayden Materials presented an overburden contract to have excess soil material to be brought over to the Magley property. I believe you guys had a copy of that to look at.
You guys copy that. Do you want to try to get court approved of that today?
With Matthew's blessing.
Thought we were gonna let them think about it and come back next week.
Okay, that's fine.
Have you checked it over?
I've looked at it, I haven't digested all, because it's coming like two or three different.
Need more time?
Yeah, and then there was one.
Overall, though, it is good. There was some question on the number one, the insurance. You've got that in the contract. And number 2, it was the quantities. I think you clarified that.
Clarified that, and they had some verbiage in there about charging rent. There is no rent. There is no exchange.
I see where you yellowed that out.
Right. I guess could we approve it? I think you guys have done this in the past, where you give Dean the right to sign the contract.
Pending Matthew's review.
Correct. That way it's not coming back in front of you guys again, unless you guys have an issue with it. I know we've all generally discussed it.
Give me a quick overview. We're going to get to use the dirt at the landfill only.
Correct.
For our cover-up.
Correct.
Any amount that we need.
Any amount that is placed upon the manual farm. So they'll have excess overburden, is what they call it, and they need a place to store it.
For the media, you understand what we're talking about, Randy. It's basically I don't think you weren't here when the rock quarry was rezoned. There's a rock quarry has been placed close to our landfill. As part of that, they've got to strip off a lot of soil, and they want to store that soil kind of out of their way. And we've agreed in principle to allow them to store that soil for the use of some of the soil ourselves to make the landfill cover. We have to use a lot of dirt on the landfill site to keep the varmints out, and called daily cover. And so in doing so, the public benefits by this overburden being brought over, and we're able to use that. We don't have to use our own soil, which we've got several farms we do that with. But this will allow us some access to some free soil. But at the same token, they've got the right to get what they want out of it as it's needed.
So any soil that's brought over onto the Manuel property, it's basically first come, first served. There is no limit of what they store over outside of a pure volume that they can physically fit there. But if we need it, we use it. If they need it, they come and get it.
They're responsible for their service road.
Correct.
Taking care of that, make sure we don't
And
get anything
initial
in the creek.
sediment control issues and
Yes.
erosion issues, and
Okay.
there's a plan that will be submitted for
Yeah.
that. Then if we disturb those areas, we're responsible for fixing them back. If they disturb those areas, they're responsible for fixing them back. It's a good product
Good product.
that we're
We
gonna
need the
get out of
product.
it. Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
I think they should address, when they get on with it, they restore it back as near as possible.
Well, they're gonna do some clearing on it, aren't they?
Correct.
And they're gonna have to take a lot of trees off?
Some.
Some.
That's the reason it needs to be done before. You guys know about the Indiana back there.
Yeah.
And it's for all of Kentucky, and you have to clear any trees by March 31st. If you go past March 31st, you can do
You gotta
tree
wait
clearing, you just gotta do a survey
You gotta do a
to
survey.
prove there's no bats roosting in that area. So the goal would be to try to do any tree
I take
clearing.
it black buzzards don't count.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Look at Randy's eyes. Excuse me.
Is the trees loggable?
No, they're
They're
all
all
scrub trees.
I'm worried. That's one of my big questions.
A lot of the trees, actually, the clearing is on their property. I mean, where the property line
But
is.
so, Court, I would entertain a motion to approve pending the review from the legal.
And you would,
Yeah, I think
Authorized
that
and signed.
I'll make a motion.
I have a motion, second by Jerry Hahn, and that discussion, Keith.
No, it's fine. As long as Matthew approves
You
it,
guys prove it.
I'm okay with it.
Looks good. but
All approved, say aye.
Aye.
Disapprove, the motion will carry. Anything else, John?
We did get our pump station up and running. We had issues with last time. We got that working and everything is good to go. We did have our state inspection last week and everything was okay. Everything was good.
Road Department report.
Okay, boom mower, we went over into District 5 for 2 days until we broke something again. Hose one time, and I think the next day it was some bolts on the bottom of it. You know, the boom mower's getting some age on it, so those type of things are gonna happen some. If any of you guys are farming with bush hogs, you know how rough it is on it, so we'll fight it as we can. Of course, getting ready to go into bulky items, so that's gonna shut down us basically for 6 weeks. The greater crew, rock coal mix shoulders on Woodlawn Road and Whiteside Road. We did an entrance on Sullivan Lane. I sent them out to the industrial park. We have retention basins down there, guys. When we built the industrial park, we did that to help protect the runoff and slow it down that goes into Mill Creek. We had to go and trim trees off of shrubs. You're not allowed to let trees grow in dams, of course. So we did that one a couple of days. Cul-de-sac on Hugh Ice Loop to try to get for a school bus turnaround. That was a good project. Hauling dirt out to the soccer fields for Tyler, and he'll get into that here in a minute. Actually had a rock slide on Bennett's Lane 2 weeks ago today, I think is when it was, something like that. 2 big old boulders come out, I mean big ones.
Yes.
So we had to run a whole round, bust that up, even to move them, they were that big.
Then you put it on the opposite side to help the shoulder up the road?
Shoulder up. Actually turned out really good when we beat them up, and
Yeah,
had
it looked
rocks
good.
that big, and it looked really good. Keith got that work done on Quarry Loop and Bowling Pike Lane
Looks
for you.
good.
That's it. Did that cross drain on Borders, Sam. Got it done, Cornish Lane. So, just getting ready for bulky item round.
Okay, thank you, Brad. Under old new business, just let you know our Feeding America program is tomorrow at the Bardstown Y Club. Oh yeah, I didn't put you on the loop. Here, I'm trying to spare you because your last 2 meetings you haven't had a report to give a report. But if you do have a report, please let us have it. Other than the dirt, he took your thunder too, by the way. The only thing you had on the report, and he took it.
Brad and them hauling out dirt for the new soccer field that they're going to start on here soon. We'll add soccer field, add irrigation, and we do that field like they did on the top field. And then we're starting to mark soccer field. Soccer starts, I think, March 4th. So we're starting to paint them.
Soccer's paying for that irrigation, guys, so you all know that. They have funds to do that. They're actually helping fund this dirt project that they wanted, so they're being good stewards and participating in projects like that. They're just in a position they can do that.
I think we finally getting them lined out there to where
They're
participating by.
We got a good
a good bunch. They really are.
They do.
They're all good, don't get me wrong, all volunteers are good. They're in a different.
Been skeptical.
Feeding program, I'm changing the subject.
We're getting that like.
Change the subject, is tomorrow, and the next month, Sam and Bernard and his crews from the Farm Bureau groups, including the beef cow, so all the different farm groups come together and help us on that, so appreciate that, Sam. Magistrates, under old new business, you have anything you want to bring up that needs to be discussed? Anybody else have anything? Otherwise, entertain a motion to adjourn. Motion by Jeff Lear, is there a second? By Bernard Ice. Any further discussion? All approved, say aye.
Aye.
Disapprove? Motion will carry. Thank you all.